I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my old life behind. Thunder.
You're listening to the Create What You Speak podcast. My intention is to change the lives of 1 million women, one podcast at a time. Now let's get started.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
My name is Sloan Fremont, and today I'm going to talk to you about mind games. I finally feel alive again. Oh my God, I've been sick for a week and a half, and today I finally feel halfway normal again. And because I've been so sick, I haven't done much, so I don't have a lot to update you on this week. But one thing, as you know, you can count on when you're sick is you get a lot of downtime and a lot of time to think. And sometimes those thoughts can be dangerous. And so that's what we're going to get into this week on the topic of mind games. And it's those games that we can play with ourselves in a positive way to get us to the state that we want to be in. And as always, take what resonates with you this week and leave the rest. All right, so I feel like I've hinted around at this on a couple of the previous episodes, but over the past couple months, I feel like I have not been in a good place mentally. And I don't know that it would appear that way on the outside, but it's like I've had this internal struggle where I haven't felt like myself, but I haven't really been able to put it into words exactly what's going on with me. It's been this like, I know I felt better than this before, but I can't really figure out why I'm not feeling that way now. And I don't really think it's any one thing. I think it's been this combination of things that have piled up on top of each other over time that have just gotten me into this mental groove that I don't like, right? It's like gotten me into, like, I'm in this groove of thinking in ways that I don't really want to think, which is in turn causing these feelings that I don't really want to feel. And I got to the point this past week when I was sick where I was like, God, you know what? I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of feeling and I'm tired of thinking these thoughts that make me feel this way. And so really until I was sick and forced to slow down and just kind of sit with everything for a while, I didn't realize how heavily this was playing out in the background for me. And you know, being sick and really having no energy and feeling like doing anything else, it was like I really had no choice but to explore and face what was going on in my mind. And not in this bad way, like mad at myself. It's nothing like that. It's more just like, okay, I've been feeling kind of low for a while. So what's really going on here? And as I, thought about this and avoided it and came back to it and thought about it and avoided it and came back to it, what I really realized was that the predominant thoughts that I have are particularly around my day job, like how I feel about my body, the potential for romantic relationships for me. All of these had just this instant feeling of negativity anytime I initially would think of them. It was like just like a subconscious, like immediately that was the place that I went when I thought of any of those topics. And, it's like, I guess what I mean by that is like, anytime those thoughts came up, like whether I wanted it to be that or not, it was just this like negative, like low vibe, draining feeling. Like I just instantly felt bad about it. And I didn't want to, obviously, but that was the default setting that I was at. So I had a lot of time to think about this and I was finally just like I said, to the point where I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm sick of this. I don't want this to be my default feelings and I'm ready for a change. So I was trying some different things as I often do when I want something different in my life and hit or miss, some stops and starts. But what I finally landed on this week was something, it did work for me and it did change things for me and I do feel a lot better. So I wanted to share that with you this week in case you're facing something like this where you're feeling, maybe you can't put it into words, but there's something going on and it's probably in your mind, right? The way you're looking at something, the way you're feeling about something, the way you're thinking about something. And you need a different perspective. And this is what I did and this is what we're going to talk about. And so I hope it helps you too. And I called this week's show Mind Games because I think whether we consciously know it or not, we're always playing mind games with ourselves, right? Like our perception of things, the stories that we tell ourselves, the thoughts that we think, these are all really games we play with our minds. And the great thing about this is we have the choice to decide, do we want these games to feel good or do we want them to feel bad, right? Do we want these to work in our favor, these games that we're playing, or do we want them to work against us? And do we want to fight and struggle with the games that we play, or do we want it to be free and easy? And I mean, I don't know about you, but again, I was at this point where I was just like, I'm over feeling like this. I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. And I felt, out of control with my emotions, like it had, almost like the emotions got out ahead of me before I even realized what was going on. And so since we talk about these kinds of things every week, and since I know better than that, I decided to rein it in and do something different. So here's what I did. So as you know, and I talk about a lot on the show, I read and listen to a lot of Abraham Hicks material because it's really what resonates with me. I found their teachings to be the most consistent. And even if, going back and listening, 25, 30 years ago, whenever they started, the message is still generally the same. I mean, they use different, ways to teach what they're teaching, but the message is the same. And so I was listening to another podcast, and the person was talking about Abraham Hicks and some of their books, and I have most of the books. And so I decided to pull some out and flip through them and just see what resonated with me. And Abraham has a lot of processes that they've taught over the years. And what I found for myself is that not all processes work the same all the time. So what may have worked before may not work for me later. It just kind of depends on where I'm at. And this really goes for anything in life, right? Things that used to work for you before may not work now, and that's okay, right? We're always changing. We're changing our minds, our moods, our preferences, and all of that's okay. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I just bring that up because that was part of this process that I realized that, like, I was flipping through this and I was like, oh, well, that used to work for me. And then I was like, I'm not really feeling that right now. So I picked up the Ask and It Is Given book, and I was flipping through, and I got to the section, wouldn't it be nice if? So it was asking yourself the question, wouldn't it be nice if what? And so this really caught my eye. And as I was reading it, it was almost like it provided this instant relief for me. It was this like instant shift of feeling bad to feeling good. And so I want to just read really quickly from the book. It's just worded better than I could paraphrase here, but about what this means, about why this process works and why it's helpful. So here's what it says in the book. When you say, I want this thing to happen that hasn't happened yet, you're not only activating the vibration of your desire, but you're also activating a vibration of the absence of your desire. So nothing changes for you. And often, even when you do not speak the second part of the sentence and you only say, I want this to happen, there is an unspoken vibration within you that continues to hold you in the state of not allowing your desire. But when you say, wouldn't it be nice if this desire would come to me? You achieve a different sort of expectation that is much less resistant in nature. Your question to yourself naturally elicits from you a more positive, expectant response. And so this simple but powerful game will cause a raising of your vibration and an improvement in your point of attraction because it naturally orients you towards the things that you want. The wouldn't it be nice if process will help you let things in that you have been asking for on all subjects. So I really like that. And actually, when I first read this, I didn't even realize that she called it a game in here. Yeah, she calls it a powerful game. I didn't even realize that when I was thinking of this topic today for mind games. But, I've often thought about this. Someone pointed out this to me a long time ago, but it's like, how many times do you find yourself asking questions that maybe aren't the right questions to ask? So for example, in a lot of times these questions come just default. Maybe you don't even notice, but like, let's say you have a long commute and you ask yourself, you find yourself in your mind saying, God, why is traffic always so bad? Right? You ask that question, and then it's like, obviously it's a negative question to ask. So it's going to get a negative answer, right? Like, why is traffic always so bad? Because there's so many people, because everybody leaves late, because I left late, blah, 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 whatever it is, negative, right? Or maybe you ask the question, God, why is she always so rude to me? Right? Or why do I always look so bad in these clothes? Or why is my hair so this? Or why does my partner not notice the way I feel? Why? Right? And when we ask these questions in a negative way and from a negative vibration, we're going to get a negative answer. And those questions and answers, that circular, rotation of those questions and answers formulate our reality. And so switching gears, like stopping and shifting and switching gears to ask the question, wouldn't it be nice if? It helps to formulate a more positive reality. It helps us drop, like as she said in here, it helps us drop the resistance in our current situation and see different possibilities that are available. So here are some examples about how you can use this in your own life. So, for example, in the book, she talks about relationships. So, wouldn't it be nice if I met the most spectacular partner who adores me in the same way that I adore him? Or wouldn't it be nice if I met someone and we waltz off into the sunset together? Wouldn't it be nice if there is someone out there who was looking for someone just like me? Like already when I read those questions and I thought about that, like that provided immediate relief for me, right? It like immediate relief. So some more questions, like as it relates to like health or your body image. Wouldn't it be nice if my metabolism began to cooperate with me a little more? Wouldn't it be nice if the desires that I've been holding for a long time sort of came to peak like a guiding light? Wouldn't it be nice if I could reclaim the body weight I had when I was whatever age? Wouldn't it be nice if I looked like I did in this picture? Wouldn't it be nice if I could feel ease about my body? Right? So all kinds of questions like that, right? Like, wouldn't it be nice if? And then here's some general ones that I came up with. Wouldn't it be nice if something amazing happened today? Wouldn't it be nice if I had a really great day today at work? Wouldn't it be nice if I met some really amazing people on my next trip to Florida and had the best time? So these kinds of questions, like practicing, I just started doing this, right? I just started asking these questions. Wouldn't it be nice if? And I practiced with these for quite a while. And it made me feel really good. And I felt excited again and energized. Like I felt like, yes, this is that feeling I wanted to get back to. This is what I felt like was missing for me that I couldn't put into words. Like, and then I like kind of toggled back and forth between asking these questions and then where I was at currently before I had been asking those questions. And I noticed a really big difference. Like asking wouldn't it be nice if, blah, 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 asking those questions, it helped me feel really expansive and open and excited, like anything was possible. But then I went back to like, when I stopped asking those questions and I went back to kind of like my default state before asking those, I felt really negative and dark and constricted and like depressing. And so I could tell a huge difference between those two places before I asked those questions. Wouldn't it be nice? And I didn't really realize how dark and low that I felt. So I think from time to time, it's necessary to play these mind games with ourselves to get us out of the place we don't want to be. And for me, like I said, I really didn't know how low I felt because it was kind of this normal state for me now, even though I knew that wasn't right. Like I knew that I didn't feel good and I knew I didn't want to stay there. And when I opened up and I started asking other questions, I could feel how much better that felt. And I decided I wanted to stay there rather than go back to where I was. So I've been playing with this back and forth, right? Like anytime I start to feel myself creep down and feel bad again, wouldn't it be nice if? And I've just decided that the wouldn't it be nice if, asking that question and feeling that way, that's where I want to focus. That's what I want my focus to be on. I'm tired of my focus being on this feeling like shit and feeling like, just expecting the worst or thinking that I don't deserve the good, right? And I'm tired of that. So I just decided I'm not doing it anymore. And I think these mind games, I don't think that these are a bad thing. I think they're necessary sometimes to take us out of one frame of mind that maybe we didn't realize we were in to get us into a more desirable place. And that's what I've really been doing this past week. And that's what I sat with. That's what I resisted. That's what I pushed away. That's what I cried about. That's what I didn't want to have to acknowledge. But it's made such a huge difference for me. So as you move forward this week, I guess I would just ask you, what kind of mind games can you play with yourself to give you a new perspective, to get you to a place that feels better, to pull you out of something that maybe you don't want to be in and see where it can take you. And you don't have to just ask that question, right? Wouldn't it be nice if? That's what worked for me. But some other ones that I thought of that might be helpful are what if? Like, what if this works out? What if there's another perspective other than what I'm seeing? Or what if it was easy? What if it was fun? What if, right? Asking a what if question. Or asking yourself what feels better, right? Which thought feels better? The thought that makes me feel open and expansive, or the thought that makes me feel closed off and depressed, right? I mean, I think it's obvious, but which thought feels better? And knowing that you have a choice in that. You have a choice in deciding how you feel. You just have to decide that you want something different, right? You just have to decide how you want to feel. And another one I thought of is, what do I really believe about this, right? Like, what do I believe about this scenario? And what do I want to believe, right? Like, do I really believe I'm going to be single the rest of my life? No, I don't. I mean, it's easy to pull myself down into that when I'm feeling sorrowful and like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. But do I really believe that? No, I don't. And asking myself, what do I really believe? And what do I want to believe, right? Those are also good questions to ask yourself. So I think anytime you ask yourself a question like that, you can use it as a mind game to shift into feeling better, right? And so as you go forward this week, just try it on. Try it and see how it works for you and see what you think. All right, so that's it for this week's topic of mind games. And I'm going to do a really quick recap of today's show, and then I'll talk about the songs I chose, and then I'll close this out. So today we talked about mind games and how mind games don't have to be a bad thing. We're always thinking thoughts, and those thoughts create our reality. And sometimes we have to retrain our thoughts to something better to get us to a place that feels better. And I did that this week by playing mind games with myself. And those mind games consisted of asking better questions. So instead of saying things like, I'm always going to be single, or why don't my clothes fit like I want them to, I started playing with the question, wouldn't it be nice if? Wouldn't it be nice if I met an amazing guy who felt the same way about me as I did about him? Wouldn't it be nice if I felt ease about my body? Wouldn't it be nice if something amazing happened to me today? Playing these mind games by asking these better questions allowed me to go from this place of feeling just constricted and sad and depressed to excited and open and limitless. And that's what was missing for me. I mean, that made a huge difference for me. And that was what I couldn't really put my finger on, because I knew deep down that sad, depressed state wasn't my normal state. I knew I had felt much better throughout, other parts of my life, and I wanted to get back to that. So asking myself this question is what allowed me to do that. So I really hope it does the same for you, or some variation of that helps you open up and takes you to a better feeling place like it did for me. All right, so songs this week. The intro song I chose was Low High by the Black Keys. First off, I just love the song. I love the feel of it. I don't know, I love the beat. But then here's the lyrics. You get low like a valley, then high like a bird in the sky. You get low 'cause you're angry, low, high, low. And that's how I felt when I was toggling back and forth after I asked the question, wouldn't it be nice if? Like, my old state of being felt so low, but asking, wouldn't it be nice if, like, that made me feel high, right? Like, low, high, low. Like, so that was this song, like, it really, it captured that for me this week. And the outro song is called Low by the Driver Era. Okay, so for some reason, these two songs are right next to each other on my playlist, and I thought it was fitting for this week's topic. And part of the lyrics of this song say, never did I know I could get this low. I could get this low for you. Now the sun don't shine and the rain don't pour, and I'm still thinking about you. So never did I know I could get this low. And again, that was that toggling back and forth for me this week. Like, I didn't know I was that low until I got high, right? Low, high, low. And so it really helped me identify how low I was. And it helped me also see that, no, you don't have to stay there, right? You can be high again. You can feel good. And that's what I mean by high, obviously, right? I mean, feeling those higher feelings like good, joy, excitement, all this great stuff that's to come. So that's it for this week on our topic of mind games. I would love to know your thoughts and what kind of mind games you play with yourself. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, sloanfremont@gmail.com. Visit my website, sloanfremont.com. And you can also find me on Instagram @sloanfremont. If you like the podcast, please remember to subscribe, rate, and review it in iTunes so more people can find me. Abracadabra, now go forth and create what you speak.
I could get this dough for you. Now the sun don't shine and the rain's all cold, and I'm still thinking about you. Roll out of bed and straight up to the clouds. Inside my closet, real estate. I find